Welcome back to the Delivering More platform, folks. I'm your host, Ben Alkire. Thank you so much for your continued viewership morning, afternoon, and evening. We appreciate it, as always. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below. That's going to help us out more than you could ever know. I have another fantastic Meet the Team episode to get into with you folks today. I have a gentleman who joined us in August of 2023, fresh off his 1-year anniversary. He's a customer success manager here at DeliverThat, working directly with our restaurant partners. Welcome to the platform, Derek Pugh.
Hey, thanks for that introduction, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a one take. That was
pretty good. It was. That was good.
I didn't warm up at all either. I think the warm ups maybe do me some.
I think they hurt you because then you think too much about it.
Yeah. I don't know what to say here. This is an interesting one because I've known you for I was trying to think since seventh grade.
Well,
no, before that.
You played with Mitchell, my younger brother, on the Browns.
I always forget about that.
And you would be in 5th grade when he was in 3rd grade because a few 3rd graders played, and I think that's when we first met. But I'd say like 6th, 7th grades when we probably became friends.
Yeah, because then we played together in 6th grade, and then we didn't play together 7th grade basketball, but everyone
the purple gold team.
Yeah,
exactly. Jeez, that's a long time, man. We're 30 now, so that would have been 18 years ago. Jeez, I was lowballing.
17, 18?
Yeah,
right? Because
you'd
be 12, 13 in 6th grade?
That sounds right.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
Yeah, it's been a ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. We'll get us a little warmed up here.
Okay.
I'm going to run you through the ringer just like we do everyone else with a little this or that.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 options. You give me one or the other. We'll breeze right through them, see where we go from there, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, so this will be Derek, this or that. Starting out, early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
How late? Are we still weekend warriors? I mean, I know.
Well,
you're 30 years old
as you
now,
asked
Derek,
that, and you were rapid firing. I was like, I've been a late night guy, but now I'm getting up there. I'm up at 6. So yeah, it might be early morning now.
You're in the office here pretty early too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in here by 7 at the latest. So yeah, I'd probably say it's flipped since working here to now early mornings now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about books or movies?
Movies for sure. I can't read for anything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. What do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Of all time, we're just gonna say Remember the Titans. That's definitely That's
okay.
Yeah, big sports guy. We'll get into that later.
Strong
but
side.
Yeah, left side.
Strong side. All right.
But yeah, Remember the Titans. Denzel. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling's in that movie.
He got burned. In the secondary.
Yeah, that is a heavy cast though. That's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Road trip. Would you rather be the driver or the passenger?
Oh, driver for sure. I feel like I get there with a purpose. Other people take too long. The guy's going slow. Like, go around him.
Yeah. Get out of my left lane.
Yeah.
Communication, calling or texting.
I'm a big texter. I get how I'm feeling across through text better than if I have to tell you over the phone.
I feel the same way, but I also feel like sometimes I get I don't want to continuously talk over text.
Correct.
I don't want to have elongated conversations over text.
I agree.
I feel like, but I am the same way where I feel like there are a lot of situations where it's easier for me to type out how I'm feeling than to verbalize.
Yep. And if I want to change it, I can't take back when I say it to you. So if I type it out and I'm like, oh, that's a little much, can change it.
That's a pretty good point.
Yep.
How do we feel about we'll say everyday life here? Would you rather dress up or dress down?
Dress down. I love me sweatpants and a hoodie. I know you'll agree with me on that one. It's getting that time of year too. I'm all about sweatpants and hoodie every time.
In terms of pets, dogs or cats?
Dog for sure, but my girlfriend's cat has moved me to. I used to not be a big cat guy, but her cat's awesome. So I mean, definitely would take dogs over cats, but I don't have as much disdain towards cats anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about in terms of when you are ordering your own food? Would you rather go pick it up or have it delivered?
Man, those delivery fees are something nowadays. I'll get in my car and drive. Yeah, I'll go pick it up because I'll save myself the $10 to $12 if I can go pick it up. That's a whole nother meal next time.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't got to convince me much on that one. In terms of a dessert action, maybe we'll call this one vanilla or chocolate.
Depends what we're talking. I like vanilla ice cream over chocolate ice cream. Yeah, I'm probably vanilla over chocolate, actually. Yeah.
Cookies, cake.
Yeah, I was starting to list them in my head, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, definitely vanilla over chocolate guy.
Yeah, I'm a vanilla cake guy for sure, but I love me like some chocolate, like brownie fudge ice cream.
Oh, yeah. If we're starting to get in the nitty-gritty, yeah, I completely
But like
agree with
just
that.
you're just saying like bland,
Yeah,
vanilla
bland
chocolate.
Yeah, if we're going, bland statement, yeah, vanilla.
Okay. Back to the food. I should have asked this one after the pickup or delivery. Would you rather go out to eat or stay at home and cook?
That's tough. I do like going out because I like to, get the restaurant atmosphere, see what the, where I'm at, getting my food from. It's like, oh, let me see what the kitchen's doing. You got the multiple TVs. Don't got to worry about changing anything. They got 6 up there for you. So, I mean, needs to be a TV if I'm going out because there's a game I'm going to watch, but that would be my only stipulation for it. But, yeah, definitely go out and have someone else make the food for me.
You got a favorite spot in the township?
I'm a big Twisted Olive guy. I do like Twisted Olive. It's not really a township. It's kind of outside
They
of it.
also don't have any TVs.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're talking just strictly food, right? Favorite place food.
Yeah.
Food,
Yeah.
we're going Twisted Olive.
Okay.
But, yeah, you're right. That does take away from my TV comment. But, man, I like Loby's a lot, honestly. People talk down at Loby's. Loby's Bar and
They
Grill's
got
got some
spinach
great
artichoke
wings.
with the pita too.
If you got the pita with your spinach artichoke dip, I'm gonna be a fan of your establishment every time.
oh
It's a game changer.
oh
It doesn't taste the same when you try it with tortilla chips the next time. It just doesn't do it.
oh, if you have baked pita with your spinach artichoke dip, I'll
I'm
be
in.
a customer for life.
I'm in.
Unbelievable. Last couple. Favorite musical artist?
Blink-182. Grew up on them. Just, 100% Blink-182.
Okay, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah,
I
I
think
grew up in
coulda-
the-
I should have seen it coming, but I didn't.
Yeah, I grew up in that, like, punk rock era, right? And my older brother kind of was always listening to that. So, like, them and Newfound Glory and Good Charlotte, those bands, it's kind of just the era I grew up on, right?
Okay. I like this one. We've been mixing this one up in the last couple Meet the Teams. I'm going to give you one stipulation. You can't say Caesar because he said you.
Okay.
Favorite coworker at DeliverThat?
Oh, definitely Phil, without a doubt. The guy, Jim, relax. I mean, because me and him talk about it, we're energy guys. We're trying to bring positive energy to the floor at all times, and if I don't have it, he's got it. So, if one of us is lacking that day, the other one's picking it up for sure.
I could see that too. Phil's definitely an energy guy. He's a vibes guy. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, that's this or that. We talked about our relationship very briefly, so I don't want to harp on that too much. But customer success manager.
Yep.
End of August 2023, I believe, is when
Yeah.
you moved back to Ohio from Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Just began your time here in-house. But obviously, we got to cover your relationship with DeliverThat prior, because it is very a long history prior to that. Not just your relationship with the people here, but with the company as well.
Yeah.
So for the people at home, maybe run us through what you went to school for,
Okay.
your time coaching basketball a little bit, and how that brings you to DeliverThat, and then walk us to why you moved back. Let's maybe summarize that.
Okay. So I went to school, actually started as a math major my first semester. They said you got to Calculus 6. I was in Calc 2 and couldn't understand what was happening. So I said, maybe this math thing, not really for me.
Yeah, trigonometry,
Yeah.
D+.
Yeah. So I was good at math, but I realized that there's people who are way better at it than me. And I, at the time, was working as a student assistant for the basketball team at Miami, Ohio. Just wiping up sweat, mopping floors, handing out water at like 4:30 in the morning, doing that, and changed my major my second semester in college to sports leadership and management. And they had concentrations, and one of them was coaching. I was like, well, all eggs in one basket. I'm coaching basketball. Here we go. So switched that to my major, did that all through college. But during my time at college, John and Aaron and you guys were at Ohio University, and I would pop over just from time to time and come.
And you wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't leave.
It'd be tough to get me out of there. Yeah. So Well, I had all my friends there, so it was tough to leave, right? So I saw them start this company there, and I saw them doing single burritos and just running groceries to people's dorm rooms and stuff. I'm like, you guys are crazy. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't see where money's going to come from, all that stuff, right? But hey, I'm proud of you guys. I knew you two would do something for yourselves. You would never work for someone. I knew that about John and Aaron from the day I met them, right?
Agreed.
Going back, we'd known them since, the time we met, like middle school time. So anyway, fast forward, I graduate from Miami and I want to get a coaching job, but don't really have any leads. Our friend Jimmy, who works here, worked at Slick Woody's, had a cornhole company. I was putting 8 screws into a cornhole board and stacking it to my left for about 8 hours a day for about 3 months. And the one guy who runs the shop came up to me one day and said, Derek, I know this isn't what you want to do for the rest of your life. What is it that you want to do? And I was like, well, I went to school for coaching and I worked for the team and stuff. I just really haven't found a lead on it or whatever. And he goes, well, we run embroidery with our company. When you get like team logos put on the jackets and stuff, they do that for teams. He's like, I know, Bob Huggins at West Virginia. I was like, okay, yeah, sure you do. And he's like, I know this guy at Fairmont State, which is ultimately where I ended up coaching. But he called both of them. Neither of them picked up. I went back to putting screws in the cornhole boards. Not an hour later, he comes back. Jared Calhoun, the guy who coached at Fairmont State at the time, he had called him back, asked if my guy asked him if they need a graduate assistant, a GA, and he said, yeah, we're actually interviewing someone in like 5 days. Can he be down here tomorrow? I said, I answered in the background, absolutely, I'll be there in the morning. I went home, packed everything in my Scion XB, drove 3 hours straight down to Fairmont, West Virginia, did my interview, came back home the next day. Didn't hear from him for 24 hours. That was the time when the other guy was down there interviewing. He calls me and says, hey, I need you down here in 48 hours. We start camp next week. I was like, yep, I'll be there. So packed all my belongings back up in that same car, drove to Fairmont, and was there for about 3.5 years.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And you said it was Coach Calhoun who hired you?
That was my first coach, yeah. Okay. So he was the coach. He's actually at Utah State now. He just got the job there.
And obviously we work our way into the big guy.
Yeah, so then my second year there, a guy by the name of Joe Mazzulla comes back who had previously worked there. He, if you heard the name, he is the Boston Celtics head coach right now.
Fresh off a title?
Yep, fresh off a championship. He was my boss for 2.5 to 3 years at Fairmont State.
West Virginia Mountaineer point guard?
Yes, he was. So he kind of stayed in his roots. He stayed down in West Virginia. So he, I kind of credit the way I am and where I am to him. Like he was a big, I guess, kick in the butt when I needed it, right? Like I wasn't really grown up yet, and he kind of was like, this guy needs to act like an adult. So he kind of helped mold me to that way, and then he got a job for the NBA after 2.5, 3 years at Fairmont. New coach came in and told everyone to get lost. So me and about 6 of my other assistants all went our separate ways. Some still coach, some don't. But yeah, when that happened, I moved back to Canton here for just to move home and kind of figure out what I was going to do. I volunteered for a year at Walsh University down the street, another Division II school like Fairmont. Worked there for a year, and that's when I started my driving because I was volunteering. I didn't have really a way to make money, and I knew you guys had DeliverThat, and I was like, well, I'm volunteer coaching. It's only 2 hours in the middle of the day. I can do deliveries before and after. So I called you all up, said, hey, could you use a driver in Canton? You said, absolutely. So I started driving, and that would be about 2019-ish. Yeah. Drove here for a year while I was coaching. We were on our way to the NCAA tournament, and COVID shut everything down. We were halfway to Indianapolis. We turned around and drove back. I got off the bus, and I started hearing rumblings that they're canceling other D2 leagues next season already. I was like, So the one job that I know I want to do might not have anything for a year.
Yeah, and you're already not getting paid for it.
Not getting paid. So I'm like, what am I going to stick around for? So what I do, found out one of the top markets for DeliverThat drivers was in Phoenix, Arizona at the time. And I said, I got a couple friends that live there. Phoenix sounds nice. I just lost my job due to something I can't control. I'm going to go have fun for a year. Moved to Phoenix, was driving, ended up doing that. It was pretty lucrative out there. I could live off it. I was doing it for about 3 years. And then the big man, Darian, we come home for a golf round, and he looks me in the eyes and said, You could say yes or no, no hard feelings. He's like, but I'm not going to ask you again. He's like, we got a job opening up. Do you want to come work at DeliverThat? I slept on it for about one day and said, I'm out of money out here in Phoenix. I better go ahead and go back to work at DeliverThat. So it was kind of a full circle moment for me, like going from the driver's side of it, asking to come on this side. You know, while I was driving, it was always something in the back of my head that I thought could happen one day because I've been so close to the company for so long. It just kind of worked out, the timing of it and everything. So,
yeah. And so, like, when you were a driver, I want to talk about that a little bit because obviously 99% of people out there watching this are going to be drivers. What was your time like out in Phoenix? Like you said, you're living off that money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you ever got another side job or anything,
nope,
or like a full-time job or anything. So, I mean, I don't know. You're taking 2-3 deliveries a day, maybe getting a double here and there. Like Phoenix, you got like the 4 quadrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it's mapped out. Where were you living? Where were you driving to? Like, were you taking anything and everything? Like, what was your strategy as a driver?
So strategy was always, obviously, you know, we tell you guys this all the time, always have the app available, right? Drained my battery life and it went off the time, but I never toggled that thing to unavailable ever when I was out there. So every delivery that popped, I heard that ding go off, right? And if I wasn't out driving, if I'm even at home hanging out, I had the app open. It was open at all times. Now, I will say about Phoenix, and you talk about the 4 quadrants, I wasn't going out west of the downtown. That's like Glendale and areas like that. It's just too far, and other drivers know you got to make it worth it if you're going to make the drive because you don't get compensated for the way to the pickup, right? And so you got to make sure it's worth your time to get there. And I would say I was living in Tempe and then eventually moved to Scottsdale. So I would say east of downtown and just floating from North Scottsdale down to like the Mesa area because one of our partners, Carmen's, was down there in the Mesa area. That was about as far south as I would go. They had some good deliveries there that would come back north towards where I was. But yeah, I was just accepting everything and anything. And a lot of what popped up after I was there about 6 months were breakfast deliveries started coming through. And there was a couple breakfast places that through Easy Cater were going on out there. So I'd pick up 2 deliveries and be done with them before 6:30 in the morning. And so there's already 2. And then I'm getting about 3 for lunch. And then if I'm lucky, picking up a dinner one. So like there were days where I was running, I had 6 Easy Caters that I'd run in one day. So like as long as you mapped it out to find ones earlier and later in the day, because it's tough from 10:30 to 12:30 to get 6 deliveries. You're not making that happen unless you're getting 3 doubles somehow, right? So yeah, it was just a lot of stacking Easy Caters together and trying to find pickups that were close to drop-offs, maximizing my time, what we tell drivers to do now, you know? But also, I think the driver fleet was a lot smaller back then, so I think my opportunity at deliveries was a lot higher, if that makes sense. I mean, you might be able to attest to it more because you've been here. You were working behind the scenes. I actually would call you for delivery issues back then in my first starting out years.
Yeah, that was my direct line, too. That wasn't a hotline call. That was a Derek Pugh pops up on my cell phone every day. Hey, man, I got wait time. Hey, man, I got this issue. And then finally I was just like, hey, man, stop calling me.
Yeah.
Call the hotline.
Yeah. That was using the friendship to my advantage for sure. Yeah, I was like, I could wait on the hotline with other drivers and get someone I don't know on the line, or I can just call Ben and I know him. So
meanwhile, my hair's freaking on fire. I'm like screaming. And then I got to pick up Derek's call and be like, yeah, all right, wait time, got it. All right, delay,
thanks.
got it.
Yep, you won't be to this one, cool.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
At least of my words.
You know what you're doing? Okay, good. All right, see ya.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of those led to. And eventually, you know, I figured out, I was like, oh, Ben doesn't do that anymore. So I was like, you know, just call the hotline.
So I mean, we kind of walked through then. So you drive from 2019 to 2023. You move back to Canton, Ohio, start working in-house. Customer success manager. I hadn't heard that title before until we just kind of looked it up. In my day, it was basically like a account manager, restaurant partner, liaison. Like there wasn't really ever a distinct title for it, but you're just kind of in charge of the direct partner deliveries, we'll call it. But your previous history, I want to talk about that and why this position made so much sense for you and why you're successful at it nowadays.
Gotcha.
Right? So your family growing up, your dad gets into Chick-fil-A before Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
No one's talking about chicken sandwiches and whatever year he got into it. So opens up in Belden Village. You worked directly in that restaurant your whole life growing up. And then now you kind of understand that side of the business, so that's what you work well within here.
Yeah, exactly. The way I look at it is, like you said, my dad's had that Chick-fil-A over in the mall right next door since he got out of college at 18. He's 59 now. So about 38, 39 years he's been doing Chick-fil-A. So my whole life. And it's easy when I pick up the phone and talk to someone at the store and they give me their problem. I'm like, oh yeah, I've experienced that. I've gone through that my day-to-day, or my dad's come home and told me about that one, right? So really it's just a matter of treating them like I'm talking to my dad. Like, hey, I understand what you're going through. That stinks, right? They just want to, they want to be heard. They want to know that someone is listening to the issue at hand, right? And my dad having Chick-fil-A before it was Chick-fil-A, I've seen those number of issues come up multiple times, right? So I've seen the different ways it's handled, and I just try and, like you said, success manager, right? So I'm trying to make our partners, restaurants, customers, however you want to describe them, just make that single delivery as easy as possible for them.
What obviously there's a litany of things that they call in for, whether they're just checking to see if we have a driver, they got to adjust the pickup time. Right. I know we got the dashboard to do most of that stuff nowadays. I'm a little bit behind in the times nowadays, so I might be saying stuff that's like doesn't make sense to him. But I guess like for you, if you could offer any sort of guidance to a restaurant who works with us directly or hears about DeliverThat and says, hey, we need a catering delivery service provider. We need someone to handle our offshoot orders that we can't take in-house or things like that. Is there anything that you could say to restaurants out there that would provide them some insight to how they can make your life easier when they call into you, and then also what you're able to provide to them?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing for us right now, when restaurants are submitting deliveries, check each delivery that is submitted to make sure the details are correct. There's nothing worse than a driver getting to an address that they think is the drop-off, give it to the front desk person, and it is the completely wrong address, right? So I would say, check that. Check the pickup time that we're giving to you, because we only offer the drop time, what time you want the food to the customer. So always check to make sure that you know when that pickup time is. A lot of things we see is restaurants won't have the food ready until that drop time. So then they're getting charged for the wait time of our driver there. And some drivers might not be able to wait. So then we need to find a backup driver. Then that might make the food late to your customer, right? So I'd say the details on the delivery that you're submitting to us is very important, right? We have X amount of deliveries every day, and we do a pretty good job of catching errors that are submitted to us, but we're not perfect. We're not going to catch every single one. And the last thing I want to do is pick up the phone and our driver's 25 minutes in the opposite direction of where the food's supposed to be, because that puts you in a bad spot and us, right? So the details on each delivery, I'd say right now, are the main thing.
How would you prefer a restaurant to contact you guys dependent on the scenario? Like, obviously we have the hotline, we have the email, we have a Slack channel with a handful of partners as well. Like, in what specific scenarios does it make sense for them to contact you via each of those methods?
If it is day of delivery, instant phone call, press extension 2 every time. No doubt about it. If it's that day of that delivery and you want an answer best, and the best way for us to help you, call the hotline and press 2. Or me or Cody or Mitch are going to take care of you. Now, if it's days in advance, say you're the feature we have requesting a driver, right? You like a driver at your restaurant. He does a great job with your deliveries. Emailing us through our dispatch email, that's the best way to do that. We have a handful that do it now. I'd say that's a big thing that's picking up steam, and that I would encourage more restaurants to do, is find these drivers, make good relationships with them, and just email us the customer name with the driver name. We'll take care of it. We can at least offer it to them, and if their relationship's as great as we both sides think it is, they'll take your deliveries every time.
Yeah, if they're able to. Not previously scheduled.
Right. Obviously, I tell them, hey, I've sent this over to that driver for review. Obviously, up to them. They can take it or not take it, but I have put it in front of them that you would like them to take your delivery. And a lot of our drivers feel good about that. I mean, back when I was taking deliveries, there was nothing better than getting a call saying, hey, this restaurant likes what you're doing. They'd like you to take more of them. Fired up, because even if it pays less, I know the way I'm going to be treated at that restaurant, right?
Yeah, and it'll come back to you on the back end. There's going to be a
100%.
delivery down the line that's going to be
four
times
times what the one you got on this one was, right? And they're going to think of you whenever that delivery does come in. So that would be, another big thing, as I would say these restaurants need to be building those relationships with their drivers.
Yeah, and same on the driver aspect of that too. I think what about in terms of like the driver side of that? Obviously, building the relationship with the restaurants is huge. Interacting with you guys daily and calls and texts and things like that. Do you have anything that you guys are experiencing lately that you could give a little insight to the drivers on, a better way to navigate it, or ways to make their lives easy on the platform, then also the back end work for you guys?
Yeah, just constant communication. We need to know what's happening, right? I can't help you if I don't know that there's an issue. I would say, always, and some things we're running into, this might be too into detail, but just drivers dropping jobs when things go wrong. They just release the job. If you release the job, I can't get you paid for it. I don't know you have it. Another driver's taking it, things like that. Before taking any action, just make sure someone on the DeliverThat team has kind of given you the go-ahead on that, right? We're just seeing, there's some just wait times and different things like that going on. If you can't wait at a delivery, just reach out and let us know. Tell us what's going on, why you can't wait, what the issue is, and we can communicate that with the restaurant best. But if you just say, I can't do this, and then just up and leave, putting the restaurant in a bad spot, putting yourself in a bad spot, and our team in a bad spot, right? So just be very communicative, trying to get everything you can to our team. And then there's no such thing as over communicating. We have that text inbox full all day. Someone will answer you. It might not be right away because we have other drivers coming at us too, but tell us something's going on. Someone will read it. It's not going to go unread. So if you feel like you're over communicating, that's okay. That's what we want. Now, the issue is don't keep texting back to back, because that drops you down the line.
Right,
We've told our drivers that. Yep.
Yeah.
But if you text, wait for our response, and you want to text back again, go ahead. There's no such thing as overdoing that, right? Now, don't send us 8 in a row, but keep communicating with us. Talk to us. We want to talk to you too. That's fine, because we want to make sure everything's going right. So.
Yeah, easy enough. Something I wanted to bring up here, we're a couple weeks I'll say fresh off. It was a couple weeks ago, but we did a little Philadelphia road trip.
Yeah.
Went out and helped out our buddies there over at Wegmans, a grocery chain through what, like the Northeast, we'll call it, or they're all over the place?
Yeah. There's a couple down in like Raleigh, North Carolina, so we'll say Northeast to East Coast.
Okay. But we went out there. I think Christian's kind of the one handling that relationship. Previously, I guess we had done a very large order with them in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And then they had some of their executives who were going to be in town, asked if we would come.
Yep.
We had a little 4-man road show, me, you, Vic, Christian.
Yeah.
Went and helped them out, $13,000 worth of food getting delivered to Villanova University. Shaking hands, meeting the people you work with every day. What was that like for you?
That was awesome. So for me, that's what it is, right? That's how you create the success with your partners that you want. You can have status calls and stuff over videos and stuff all you want, but until you're in person with someone and meeting them and seeing how they react to different things and getting to talk with them about their business longer than a 25-minute call, right? It's game changing for the partnership. We were already super close with the people over at Wegmans, and I think that just kind of took it to the next level. It was so much fun. It took me back. Like I tell you guys, this is sometimes you gotta go back to your roots a little bit, right? And I did love being a driver, right? Like I enjoyed that, going to drop food off to people.
I did too.
Like,
I loved driving.
Yeah, it was great. And I mean, I guess part of it might be because I was around, Chick-fil-A and food and seeing how much just a chicken sandwich can do for someone. It was just the fact that I knew if I was coming to set up your food, how it was going to get done. And I thought I was like, this workday might have sucked for someone, but dang, that buffet setup right there might have made them happy for 30 minutes, right? It's just small things like that just enjoy being a driver, different people you meet, different places you went to set up food, sports teams you take food to, just all over the place. It was just, I enjoyed it a lot.
Good segue here.
Yeah.
It is now 3:05.
We got 3 minutes.
First pitch for the AL.
Got on my sleeve right here.
DS here. The Guardians versus Tigers were in Game 3. The series tied 1-1. We're in Detroit this afternoon. We're recording this on Wednesday, October 9th. This is going to release Wednesday, October 16th.
Okay.
So the series, so we'll either be in the ALCS or eliminated at that point in time, I believe. So what do you got? I mean, how are you feeling? I know obviously Monday was going very well, almost about as well as it possibly could. In terms of defense and pitching, keeping it 0-0 was the goal there.
And they threw their best pitcher. That guy's going to win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah.
They don't have another screwball sitting in their bullpen.
Right.
And they also only have one guy on their team that's ever been in the playoffs before on that roster. So I personally don't think that those guys have any idea how to close out a series, personally. But then again, I'm a Cleveland fan, and we can never have anything nice. So I just think it's going to go to Game 5, and God knows what's going to happen.
I think if we win today, I think we win the series. If we lose today, I think
it's going to be tough. Yeah, if we lose today,
I think if we lose today, it could be very bad.
Because I think we lose today, going back to Detroit. They just have all the momentum to close out again in Game 4.
Well, not even. I think they knew they needed to win that one.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams needed to win that game yesterday. If like I said, if the Guardians win that game on Monday, it's a sweep.
Yeah.
We go in Detroit. I think we dog walk them.
Yeah. It's not even doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Their best pitcher, they lose.
I think the game being 0-0 and then the bomb being off Class A.
That hurts.
I think it takes the fear factor out of him moving forward a little bit. He's gonna walk if the game is 2-1 tonight going into the top of 9, bottom of 9. He's walking out there. He's coming in for the save. But you just hit a 3-run jack off him on Monday. No one's done that all season.
You're saying is that the one anomaly? Like he's gonna...
I just think that takes like the
pressure off
him a little bit,
because he hadn't given up anything.
He's given up 5 runs all year. Now he just gave up a 3-run jack, the hardest hit ball he's given up all year, hardest ball that guy's hit all year.
Throwing a pitch he shouldn't have thrown again, but
3 sliders in a row is tough.
You throw 101 miles an hour, blow.
But I just want Guardians. We're all in.
Yeah,
that's all we got right now.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that other team that's playing in the fall season. That team's I
do want to talk about what's starting. I think next week. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is. Now that you say that, I've been sewing on the
Guardians. Got to the conference finals last year?
No, it would have been.
We lost to the Knicks.
That was 2 years ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that was this year. They just walked us out of the. No, this year we lost to the Celtics. My old boss, remember? Yeah, because we were all talking about it. Celtics knocked us out.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it was the semis or the conference finals. I think it was the conference semis. It was
the finals.
It was the conference semis. We lost to them because we were like the 3 seed and they were the 2. Yeah, and we matched up the second round. Yeah. So Donovan Mitchell stuck around. So did Darius Garland. Didn't see that coming. Thought one was going to have to go. Brought everyone back. I don't know what Jarrett's talking about, too bright of lights. I mean, I got 4 on me right now, and lights don't feel too bright. But, I mean, that guy said that, and he can't play. And then he sat out for a bruised rib last year. Just to see us be a little tougher this year, that's all.
I think the over-under for wins is 49.5. So just
as a gambling man, I would hammer that.
You got a little Cavs prediction for us? What do you see in the 24-25 season? Obviously, championship or bust, I think, but it's still a very young team.
It's so tough with the Celtics in their conference, and I mean, I got a little bit of Joe bias maybe, but that guy, I mean, you see what he did with that squad. I don't think he's going to allow them to have a letdown, but I honestly do believe the Cavs. I like that number. I'm going to say 53 wins, so 3.5 over the total.
53 and 31.
It's 82 games, so that's
29.
bad math. Yeah, 29. Yeah, 52 and 29. I think they won 54 last year or something like that. 55 maybe. But yeah, I think
They started out hot, though.
they did.
They started out hot.
But that's how that team starts. That team with that roster, they just start hot, and then in the middle of the season, they just hit a lull.
Yeah.
It's like Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to play for like a month.
Who we need to have a year is Evan Mobley.
Yeah,
He needs to show up this year.
I've been putting my basketball knowledge and basketball respect on the line that Evan Mobley is going to be a stud, and he has just let me down and made me look like a dummy.
Yeah, I agree.
So
It was bad last year.
Yeah, last year I told our friend group, I said, I think this is the year for Evan Mobley, and I think he might have regressed. So need a big year out of Evan Mobley on number 4.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Guardians, about to go watch first pitch. Cavs coming up next week. Browns, doesn't even matter.
Nope, they don't
even want to
exist.
think about it anymore.
Nope.
But Cleveland sports, man, it's just how it goes.
Yep, full circle. That's what keeps this friend group together, and here's the friend group again. It's just kind of wild. The last thing I'll leave with, it's kind of funny how we all grew up together. We all went our separate ways there for like 4 or 5 years, and then you look at it now at 30 years old, and here we are again. It's kind of wild.
Back like we never left. All right,
Yep.
man. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Absolutely.
Letting the people out in the world get to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good, buddy.